Let's talk about it. A question you may have had or something you may have never even considered before. Why is parking my car underneath a tree so bad for my vehicle? Let's dive into it. So there's a few reasons that this is so bad for your vehicle's paint, glass, and overall appearance. First one being contamination from the tree. When you're parked underneath the tree and it rains, that rainwater is pulling all that gunk out of that tree and it's going to land on top of your vehicle's clear coat. What this is going to do, if you have a ceramic coating, a sealant, or a wax on your car, you'll notice that it's no longer beading and the water is just sticking to the paint, laying flat. That's from all the contamination from that tree building up onto the surface of your vehicle. Doesn't matter if it's glass or your paint, you're going to notice the effects of it right away, especially if it's raining. If it's not raining, it may take a little longer to build up. Like when it's dry outside, it'll take a couple weeks to notice the effects of it. The second one being tree sap. So tree sap is a really sticky, gooey substance that if you've ever had it on your vehicle, you know it's kind of hard to remove if you don't get it off right away, or if you don't have a ceramic coating on your vehicle. And a coating can only protect it so much. If it's on there for a really long period of time, it's going to be hard to remove no matter what. Tree sap, though, it's so sticky, it bonds with the surface of your vehicle, and eventually, if it's on the paint, it's going to start shrinking up and swelling once it heats up. Like if it's on the hood, your engine bay, or your engine's going to heat up that hood, and the tree sap's going to start to want to shrink. When it shrinks, it's going to want to pull the paint with it. It's not going to pull the paint off your vehicle, but it is going to shrink it in a way that it's going to be distorted, and you're going to notice it. Not like an etching from bird poop, which we're going to get into, but it will cause a pretty permanent marking if it's been on there for a while. And the same thing goes with bird poop. So bird poop, if you guys didn't know, is a very acidic chemical. Acid etches into clear coat. So when bird poop's on there and it's left on there for a long period of time and it's constantly being heated up by the sun and things like that, it's going to bake into that clear coat and leave a permanent stain on there. It's not going to go all the way through the clear coat in most cases, but it will leave a permanent stain on there when you go to wash the vehicle. You're going to notice there's a ring on the outside exactly where that etching was. Sometimes they can be removed with polishing and compounding. Other times they need to be wet sanded to be removed because they are so deep, and other times they're just way too deep that they can't even be removed. Another thing too is limbs, pine needles, little nuts, things like that build up in like specifically the windshield cowl of your vehicle or your door jambs. If you'll notice, if you've parked your vehicle under a tree for a really long period of time, you're going to notice like algae start to build up in your door jambs, or pine needles and things like that are going to build up like in your engine bay area, things like that. And eventually, if you have a cabin air filter in that area, they're going to work their way into the cabin air filter, and then your vehicle is going to stink because all that nasty kind of earthy smell is going to start coming through your air vents. That's really the cons of parking your vehicle under a tree. There really are no pros. People might argue the shade is worth it, but I promise you, park your vehicle in the sun, it's going to be way better for it than the permanent damage that parking under a tree will do for your vehicle. If you are in a situation where you can't park your vehicle anywhere other than underneath a tree, the only way you're going to alleviate this issue is with more frequent hand washing. Not car washing, not going through the car wash and rinsing it off. An actual hand wash with a wash mitt and soap, bucket of water, to agitate the surface and remove that film that's on there. Because the longer that film sits on there, the longer it has a chance to bake into the clear coat. And over time, that film is going to eventually cause the paint to oxidize and look really crappy over time. So I hope you guys got a little bit of value out of that little segment on why parking a vehicle under a tree is so bad. But if you guys have any questions about that, let me know.